In this video, I'll be going deep into AI for education, and these are the latest updates from Microsoft EDU. My name is Mike Tholfsen, and I'm a group product manager on the Microsoft Education Engineering team. Now, I showed this deep dive talk at the BET conference in London in January of 2024, and a lot of people asked me, hey Mike, can I get this entire recording and presentation on YouTube? So that's what this is, and I'm going to be covering everything across the AI spectrum. 2023 was a big year for AI. It was all over the news in education. And if you're a fan of the movie Anchorman and Ron Burgundy, if Ron Burgundy was AI, AI would say, I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal. So AI is a real big deal right now. Now, many of you have probably heard of OpenAI. They're the ones who create ChatGPT, the large language models, DALL-E 3, and Microsoft has been partnering with OpenAI for years, whether it's deep research, AI principles, security, and Microsoft has integrated OpenAI's leading models into our software. Now, in terms of responsible AI, before we really get into this, we did a large-scale survey globally of educators, and we found that the number one thing that educators really care about is making sure our AI has responsible principles built in. So whether it's fairness, reliability, safety, inclusiveness, transparency, everything we do takes these responsible AI principles and builds them into our products as well as our processes inside of Microsoft. So that is in everything we do. Now, in terms of Microsoft Education and AI, these are four big categories. We have core Copilot, and I'll be showing that in just a bit. We have Copilot for M365, and that's building that into our M365 products. We also are building specific tailored experiences for educators and students, and my team builds a lot of these as well. I won't be going as much into Azure and building your own Copilots, but imagine as a district or an institution, you can take all of your own data and build your own Copilots based on that data. That will be in a different talk in the future. Let's get right into Microsoft Copilot. So why Microsoft Copilot? First off, it's the most powerful AI models. That means GPT-4 Turbo, that means DALL-E 3, and everything is free. There's no cost to that. In some places you have to pay for the best AI. With Copilot, it is built in and available at no extra cost. We're also transparent about sources. We cite everything. You can have little citations and references on all the knowledge that's coming up, which is great, especially for education. There's also no knowledge cutoff. It doesn't end in September of 21. Because it's fused with the Bing index, it is always up to date. And finally, there's commercial grade data protection. That means safe, secure. We don't train our models with inputs. Everything is safe and secure to your institution. So when you sign in with your Azure Active Directory, now known as Entra ID, your school account, everything is safe and secure, and I'll show that. Now, Copilot shows up in 5 different places, and this is just the core Copilot. It shows up at copilot.microsoft.com, the Edge sidebar, mobile, Windows, and Bing. Now I've switched over to Demo Copilot, and this is just the straight Copilot that's available for anyone in the web with any type of education license. So it's at copilot.microsoft.com. And the first thing you're going to note is if I go in the upper right, you're going to see that it's signed in and it's protected. So all your personal and company data are protected. There's also some nice prompts to get started, and these are focused for educators in particular. Now at the bottom, you're going to see the different conversation styles. There's more precise, there's balanced, and then there's creative. And creative is the free GPT-4 and DALL-E 3. So at the bottom, I'm going to add in a prompt. I'm going to say, please create a lesson plan about the history of Stonehenge and tailor it towards a 9th grade history class. And please add learning objectives. Copilot's going to go and it's going to quickly create a lesson plan for me. If I scroll to the top, you're going to see the learning objectives. You'll also note that there's little citations and references. And if I hover over a link, I can see exactly where that came from, English heritage in this case, and the sources are also down at the bottom. Now, there's lots of different theories about Stonehenge, and I'm going to ask to put all the theories about where Stonehenge came from into a table. Was it an alien? Was it a druid? Was it King Arthur? So I'll hit submit, and quickly I'm going to get an entire table of all the different theories about Stonehenge. It even has the sourcing and it has an image, but it also has edit in Excel. And if I click that, I can quickly open up Excel, and everything from that table is right there in Excel. Now, Copilot also does images. In this case, can you create a photorealistic image of Stonehenge and integrate Merlin from the Arthurian legend? And this uses the free DALL-E 3. So very quickly, Copilot's going to make me some images right here. Let's open up this one. Hey, there's our pal Merlin. He's hanging out in front of Stonehenge. So all of the DALL-E image creation is here too. If I want to create a new topic, I just click that button right there. It sweeps everything aside and I can start over. Moving on to the Edge browser, we also have Copilot here. I've opened up a 30-page PDF in Edge because it reads PDF. In the upper right, I click Copilot and it pulls it up on the side like a research assistant. I'll go to more precise mode and I'm going to say, please write a summary of this PDF, pull in the top 5 points. And there we go. 5 things right there. It sources it. It works on any web page. So here's just a web page I have. I'm going to say, please summarize this web page. There's some other prompt examples here. If I hit submit, it'll write a quick summary of the web page, cite and source everything with the references, all set. And this works on any web page. Moving on to mobile. Not many people know that you can download Copilot on your iOS device or your Android device. And again, everything is free, GPT-4 and DALL-E 3. Here I have Copilot on my iPhone. I'm going to launch this right here. And very quickly, you can see similar UI. I'm going to tap on Use GPT-4. Now I'm just going to do a very similar type of thing. Help me design a lesson plan for 7th graders that focuses on the causes of the Cold War. Here's an entire lesson plan. It's citing and sourcing everything. Can you help me generate an image that shows the United States and the former Soviet Union merged together? DALL-E 3 on my phone. Same thing. I've got some images. This one here in the lower right looks kind of cool. Now what's also nice is I can even upload images and have DALL-E 3 analyze them. I'm going to upload a picture here and say, can you identify the details in this picture? Hey, there's my dog in front of a Christmas tree. It actually does that. It even identifies some of the ornaments in the Christmas tree. So all of this is on the phone. Moving to Windows 11, Copilot is also built in here now as well, and it's coming to Windows 10 in the near future. So as an example, maybe I want to do some research in Word. My lesson plan ideas. Now at the bottom, I'm going to hit the Copilot button, and on the right-hand side, it's going to open up Copilot in a pane. I have those same options. I might choose more precise or creative if I want GPT-4 mode. Now down at the bottom, I'm going to say, help me do research for this topic. It's going to do a bunch of research, cite and source everything. I can also just click copy and then just paste that right into Word. So it's very easy to do lesson plan research. And you can use this in anything in Windows. You can even ask Copilot things like, how do I turn on dark mode? Or how do I turn on focus mode? So you actually get help in how to use the operating system itself. So Copilot is very flexible in Windows 11. If you want a Microsoft Learn course, this is professional development on how educators can use Copilot. We've got an entire course. It's one of our most popular courses. You can learn all about prompting, the different places you can use Copilot, and how to use it in the education setting. So I encourage you to use this course, share it in your district, share it with your institution. Moving along, next up is Copilot for Microsoft 365. This is integrating Copilot into all of Microsoft 365 in places like Word, PowerPoint, OneNote, and Teams. Now, this is the one that does cost money. There's a license fee. We've rolled it out to educators, and very soon it's coming to higher ed and 18 plus students. That's in the future. But what Copilot Microsoft 365 does is it takes large language models, it fuses the graph, which is your data, emails, chats, documents, your internal SharePoint sites, your PowerPoints. It also shows up in the Microsoft apps. This can be in Word, OneNote, Excel, Teams, and it also fuses in the web. Now, in addition, you have security, compliance, privacy, and responsible AI. So the Microsoft 365 Copilot takes all of that together. Now, as an example of what that might look like, let's take a look at Copilot in Word. So I've got a lesson plan here I've created, Newton's Laws of Motion. Now let's say I want to select a specific paragraph and use Copilot to rewrite that paragraph. We'll select that, and on the left there's a little Copilot button. I can say Rewrite with Copilot. It's going to draft a couple of rewrites, and there's some options. I can scroll through the different options that it's given me. I can change the tone of that. So I can make it more concise, more imaginative. Let's say I'm going to make it more concise. I'll get a few more options. Here's 2 or 3 options with the concise rewrite. So I'm going to choose this one here and say replace. Next up, I can do a visualize as table. So I've got Newton's 3 laws in a paragraph. I'm going to click the Copilot button and say visualize as a table. It's going to analyze that paragraph and pull out nice 3 laws in a table. Now, if I want to open up Copilot as a chat experience on the right-hand side, in the upper right of every Office app, there's a Copilot button. So now I can chat with my document, ask questions about my document, I can summarize it. So down in the lower right, let's say that I say, what are the top 3 concepts in this document? Copilot will do that and it'll cite its different sources. I can also get help on how to prompt better. Lots of sample prompts. I can even open up the Copilot Lab. So these are all the best prompts in Word and it's always getting updated. So prompt help is built in. Now let's say I want to start a new document, draft with Copilot. I'm going to create a quiz based on a specific document. I do the / and choose that Newton's laws of motion. So I'm going to say make a quiz based on that document and give me the answers as well. So Copilot's going to draft an entire quiz with all of the answers and it's specified how I wanted it. Now at the bottom, I'll say, replace each bullet point with a little emoji, make it a little more fun. Copilot can quickly go and do that. So this is just a quick example. There are a ton of things you can do with Copilot and Word, and there are many more things coming in the near future. Now moving on to Excel. Copilot and Excel, there's a lot of educators that can be intimidated by Excel use. And what's nice is with Copilot, you can use natural language and ask questions about your data and get suggestions. So in this case, we're going to have a little Excel about the Office characters and all their different test scores. So here's the Office characters here. In the upper right, I'm going to click the Copilot button. And now we're going to ask questions about the data. So first off, we're going to say, show me the top 5 scores in the class and sort by the highest score. What Copilot will do is right there really quickly, Dwight Schrute did the best, of course, and it gives me a little narrative about the class. I can also say, hey, are there any interesting outliers in these scores? And Copilot will analyze the data and give you an answer about outliers and make a chart. I can even ask it to show me other insights, and I can click add all these insights to the grid. So now I've got a nice set of dashboard materials that took just a couple of seconds. So just imagine being able to ask more questions about your data, and a lot of those more complex Excel features can get unlocked with that power of natural language and Copilot in Excel. Now, one of my very favorite M365 Copilot scenarios is in Teams. So a lot of educators might have staff meetings that they're not crazy about taking notes in. Usually people do not like to take notes during a meeting. Wouldn't it be great if you can delegate that off to your Copilot? So in this case, I'm in a Teams meeting and I click notes and Copilot is now my AI note taker. So Copilot's listening to the transcription. It's taking notes as that meeting's going along. It is so cool. We've tried this at Microsoft. It saves a lot of time. Now, if I want to go and ask Copilot privately, hey, Copilot, can you go tell me what did Miguel say about those customer priorities? Copilot will analyze things. It'll insert that right into the notes. If I join the meeting late, privately, I can say, was there anything that I missed? Can you tell me if someone assigned me something when I wasn't in the meeting? If that happens when they assign you a task and you weren't there. So having an AI note taker that's always being able to tell you what's been happening, what's going on, it's a super powerful way to use Teams meetings. Last up, for M365 Copilot, we're going to show Copilot in the web and in Windows. So similarly, you saw the Copilot in the browser. This is the free version. But if I have Copilot for M365, I get this option to switch over to work mode. Now Copilot's going to analyze all of my email and chats and documents. So I can go and ask a question to Copilot. It's like my chief of staff. Summarize where I was mentioned in the last 24 hours, organized by emails and chats, and highlight by sender and topic. So it's going to analyze everything. And it says, what are the 3 things I should prioritize today? So my little chief of staff here is saying, these are the things that you should prioritize after I analyzed everything that was happening. Really powerful stuff. And this is something that can save you many minutes every day and make you more efficient. Next up is AI for educators in Microsoft Teams. These are new capabilities designed for educators that will be available to all educators globally, no matter what license you have, for no cost. And these are capabilities that my team is working on right now. Some of them have launched and some are in private preview. In terms of our principles, we want to make sure AI is always in context. It's aware of your class and it can be tailored. Also, educators are always in control. We want to make sure that the educator has the ability to take a look at things before it goes out to the class. We don't just push it out automatically. It's also a productivity booster. We know that saving teachers time is the top thing, so this is designed to help save teachers time. And also we have admin controls. So across the board, any of these can be turned off by the tenant admin. If you want to turn all generative AI off, there's going to be switches and admin controls to make sure that your district or your institution is in control. The first one we have is generating rubrics with AI. This allows educators to easily generate a tailored rubric and save a lot of time. So as an example here, you might want to say, I want to add a rubric with AI. You can give it a title and what you want the rubric to evaluate. You can also choose an age range, and you can use AI to help you set criteria as well as a scale. So it's a little bit like a wizard. So I'm going to choose a couple of topics here and say generate rubric using AI. And very quickly, it's going to come up with a draft of a rubric. And you can go and modify that if you want. You can also attach it. But again, that educator's in control and we're saving time, and it has the right context that it needs. That's in private preview right now. In addition, another one that's in private preview is generating assignment instructions. Another time saver for educators that lets you generate instructions with AI. So if I give it a title, Understanding the Rock Cycle, some simple instructions, and I also know that this is a science class and I know some things about the class, the first thing I might try is adding detail. So we're going to generate some details to add to your assignment instructions. Okay, that looks good. We'll choose keep it. Now I want to say emphasize key concepts. So it's going to analyze the instructions and emphasize in bold some of the key concepts. Okay, that looks great. Keep it. Maybe add some emoji, add a little sparkle. This is kind of fun. So let's add some emojis in front of those different numbers. Okay, that looks pretty good. We'll keep that. Now I want to add some learning objectives. So it'll go through and add learning objectives to my assignment instructions. So just in a few seconds, you can create some really nice assignment instructions, and then you can assign that out to your class. And by the way, all these private previews, I will have a link at the end of this presentation as well as in the description if you want to sign up and be a part of these private previews. The next private preview that we're working on is generating classwork modules with AI. Classwork is our new content and curriculum management solution that's built right into Teams. So in this case, I might want to say, help me add a new module with some suggestions. So what is my subject? Math. What is the age range? I can select an age range. I'll hit next. Then I'll just put in what I want the students to be able to know and draft modules. So it's going to draft a set of module skeleton structure for classwork. So I can choose to select all or select some or adjust them, but very quickly I've got some nice classwork modules. Again, just a really nice time saver to help educators get more out of the day. Moving on to learning accelerators. This is one of our brand new concepts in Microsoft 365. Learning accelerators are all about foundational skills and future-ready skills wrapped in insights. So things like reading progress and reading coach, or Microsoft Reflect, or Search Progress and Search Coach. We're also working on a couple of brand new ones, Math Progress and Math Coach, and Speaker Progress and Speaker Coach. These are all AI-enhanced learning capabilities to make it easier for educators and students to work together to get personalized feedback and to save educators time. If you want to understand how does this fit into the broader Microsoft 365 education landscape, at the bottom you have core components in your platform, management, security, directory. The next layer are our inclusive and accessible solutions. So things like immersive reader, narrator, translator, live captions. Then you have your layer for instructional tools, which many of you are probably familiar with. Things like Teams for Education, OneNote Class Notebook, Minecraft Education, Flip, and more. Now at the top layer, there's a brand new set, and these are the learning accelerators with foundational and future-ready skills in analytics. And we're working and we're building more of these right now. One thing that's recently rolled out to Reading Progress, which is our AI-enhanced learning tool, this is all about reading fluency, so Reading Progress. This allows educators, when the student has made a recording and recorded themselves reading, and if you want a deeper dive on how Reading Progress and Reading Coach works, there's a link in the description as well. But what happens is, when the student records themselves reading, we use AI to analyze their reading speed, their mispronunciations, omissions, etc. Now, in a noisy classroom, what can happen is when that student is recording themselves reading a passage out loud, it can be really hard for the AI to analyze things because of all that noise. You can turn on a new noise suppression. So the educator can enable background noise suppression, and that will kind of add an AI layer of noise suppression to have a much cleaner recording, whether it's the educator listening to it or the AI analyzing it. That is fully rolled out and is available today. Another area that is in private preview right now, this is reading progress and the ability to generate a passage with AI. So what that means is, historically, educators have been able to add Word documents and PDFs and some sample passages for their practice reading fluency assignments. But educators had said, wow, it'd be great if I could tailor and personalize some of those passages for my class. So custom generate passage right here is a brand new option. I can choose a topic for my class. I can choose the length of a passage, the age range, even the languages. We support 116 languages and locales, and we can integrate the most challenging words your class has been struggling with. So create a passage with those words integrated. So I generate a passage. You can see the words are integrated. I can say complexity higher or lower. It'll redo that passage generation. So AI can make it easier or harder. And now I've injected this passage. It's ready to assign out to my class. So a huge time saver, and it helps personalize those passages in reading progress. That's in private preview today. Another one that's in private preview for reading progress are comprehension questions with AI. In this case, you can already add comprehension questions to your reading passage. That rolled out in September of 2023. But a new option is you can say, I want to generate questions with AI. So you can say, how many questions would you like to generate? Say 3. It's going to analyze the passage on the left, and using Microsoft Forms technology, it's going to generate a set of comprehension questions. And I can edit these. Again, the educator's in control. I can change them. I can add. I can delete. But it's a real nice time saver. This is also in private preview. And again, you'll be able to sign up for any of these private previews. There's a link to a form at the end of this presentation, and it's also linked in the description of this video. The last AI update in Teams for Education I'll talk about is Reflect Question Suggestion. So Reflect is our well-being tool, and we've had a lot of feedback that educators would like to get more feedback from students about how they're feeling. So in this case, you can see in the lower left part, how are you feeling about your homework? And hey, what are some of the reasons that made you feel that way? And there's a set of options. And AI can help the educator suggest some questions, and the educator can add their own questions. But again, it's a time saver for gathering more information about that well-being. That'll go into private preview likely in April of 2024. Moving to learning accelerators, and one of the newest ones that we're actively working on right now that uses AI-enhanced learning is Speaker Progress. Speaker Progress helps develop confident presenters with tools. It can reduce student anxiety and get real-time coaching, and the educators can track this over time. Think about it as a communication and presentation version of reading progress, if you've seen reading progress. So for example, the way this will show up, and it's going into private preview in March of 2024, which this video is being recorded in February, so very soon it's going into private preview. When you click Learning Accelerators, you'll see a new option for Speaker Progress, and this is in Teams assignments. The educator will get to set up that Speaker Progress assignment. So the idea is when the student is practicing communicating and presenting, whether directly with video or in the future presenting a PowerPoint deck, we'll be able to use AI to watch and listen to how that student's doing. So the example here is the educator says, I'd like to customize what pieces of AI I'd like to analyze. So in this case, they've turned on everything: pace, filler words, pitch, body language, because with the camera, you can analyze body language, repetitive language, pronunciation. It's almost like having your own little Toastmasters, for those of you familiar with the Toastmasters experience, where the teacher can now gather feedback much more often on how their students are communicating and presenting. This is a top future-ready skill. We've interviewed many high schoolers and middle school students that say they want so much more feedback, but they rarely get it in class because it's so time-consuming for educators. In this case, the student will be practicing, communicating, and presenting out loud. The speaker coach, in this case, is try varying your pitch, might give other types of feedback. When the student is done presenting, they get a rehearsal report. It shows their top strengths and their top opportunities. which is fantastic feedback for students. So this is AI helping scale out, give students feedback, but also when they turn in their speaker progress assignment, the educator also gets this same rehearsal report, can give feedback, and it tracks progress over time. So in this case, you can see delivery, content, audience engagement. These are all pieces of data that go back to the educator, and we track those with these insights and dashboards. Insights are a key part of learning accelerators, and in this case, you can see how we're tracking filler words here or body language. An example might be the student keeps saying awesome every fifth word. So examples like that are all part of speaker progress. Now, the biggest announcement we've made recently on learning accelerators is the new standalone AI-powered reading coach. We know that experts have said personalized, highly engaging, consistent practice is the most effective approach to close learning gaps. And what Reading Coach is, the new standalone version, it's AI-powered personalized practice at school and at home. So this is what's key. Reading Coach is now available as a Windows Store app as well as in the browser for free. And this can be for home use with parents. It can be with school use with educators. Currently, we support Microsoft consumer accounts. We're going to have school account support in just about 2 weeks. So by the end of February, we'll have school account support fully rolled out. The way it works, as you're going to see, is students get to generate their own stories and practice reading out loud with the same technology we've used in reading progress. It also has the inclusive immersive reader technologies to make it more accessible and inclusive for all people to read. So let's see how this works. We're going to start out with Avery, and she's going to be practicing reading out loud using the standalone Reading Coach. So we're going to get started here. This is Reading Coach. I can read a passage from our library. I can paste a passage, but I'm going to choose create a story using AI. So Avery's going to choose a dog. She likes dogs. That's one of her characters. She's going to choose the location, space, dogs in space. Now Avery can also choose her reading level. She's going to choose reading level 3. And now AI is going to generate that story for her that's unique to practice. And if you've seen Immersive Reader and Reading Coach, you'll see some of these same immersive reader capabilities. So Avery can set how she likes the page to look. We even have integrations like Picture Dictionary. She can hear the word.
Curious.
Now Avery's going to go and click the little microphone button and get a countdown and practice reading out loud.
Leopold the dog was always curious about the world beyond his backyard.
So she finishes reading, and when she's done, she has these nice results. Time spent reading, accuracy, achievements, and also practice words. So I click practice words, and it's going to pull up the Reading Coach, and I can practice the words I mispronounced. She drills into colorful. She can stretch the word. She can hear it.
Colorful.
And she can practice.
Colorful.
So she can go through the Reading Coach. Now when she's done, AI is going to ask her, which direction do you want to take the story? Stargazing or meeting an alien? So it's like a pick a path. Avery's going to choose Rover Goes Stargazing, and it generates the next chapter of her book. She can keep reading and practice, and she's excited because she's designing this story on her own. And again, when she's done, she can unlock new characters. So we've gamified it a little bit, making it a lot more fun. So here's the time spent reading right here. You have lots of achievements, a first timer, your accuracy, and then all the practicing words. All of this is in Reading Coach. Now, if you don't want to keep reading on that story, you have other stories you've read. We keep track of your different stories. We also give you the ability to choose an example passage in our template library, or you can choose to paste your own passage. So educators might say paste in a specific passage. You could practice reading that as well. Here's an example where that passage was pasted in. Reading Coach is available today at coach.microsoft.com in the web. It's consumer accounts right now. So things like your Outlook account or your Hotmail account or whatever account you might have for your Microsoft account. But it's coming for school logins by the end of February 2024. It's also available in the Windows Store on Windows 11 today, and you can just download it and start using it at home if you're a parent or a student. And it's also going to be coming to LMSs in spring. So learning management systems, we will integrate it with places like Canvas and Schoology and Desire to Learn and more. So if you're not using standalone as a school, you'll be able to use it with your learning management system as well. Wrapping up, Microsoft Designer. This is our AI-powered creativity tool. So it's a great way to bring your ideas to life using AI-powered imagery and text generation. But in particular, what's been super popular is designer images. And so this is the ability to share your prompts on social media to create all sorts of images. These have been kind of going viral with educators all over social media. So what it allows you to do in particular with Image Creator and Designer, you can design a little prompt. It's a bit like Mad Libs. So in this case, you can see you fill out the little boxes there, and this is the case of a Funko Pop character, and then you can share that so other people can fill out their own versions. So in this case, I filled out that Funko Pop shareable prompt. This is myself with my little purple cape. I did a 3D image, which is a lot of fun. There was a shareable 3D image prompt, and there was also a fun bet prompt. This was at the Bet conference in London as a Lego minifig character. So that link right there, designer.microsoft.com. This is free to use. It's consumer account sign in right now, but a whole lot of fun. And what Becky Keene, a great educator, has done, she's put together a Wakelet that has all these fun shareable prompts. So all the different fun ones that you can experiment with. There's a link right there that you can check out. Thank you to Becky Keene for creating that. If you want to do our AI for Educators course on Microsoft Learn, this has been our most popular course. The link is right here. It's also in the description, but it's all about what is a large language model? How do I use image prompting? What is responsible AI? How should I think about AI in the classroom? All these great things are part of this course. It's not a super long course, but it's really impactful just at a 101 level. So I encourage you to try this out. Also share it broadly in your district if there's a lot of questions about, hey, how should we be thinking about AI in education? So this is a great course. And then also, if you want to join one of our private previews, here is the link right here. It's also in the description. You have the choice to join our Teams for Education previews, our Speaker Progress or Math Progress previews, or other private previews that are coming up. We will onboard you, and we'd love to get your feedback. You can try out this stuff really early on, and there's a lot more coming, so get excited about that one. If you want to keep up with all the latest Microsoft updates and tips and tricks, subscribe to my channel and then just ring the bell so you get all the latest videos that I post.